Hey, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm excited you're here. If I've not met you before, I'm Kelly Chun. I'm a nurse practitioner, and tonight you are going to get to hear directly from my personal friend, and I see her as a mentor. She'll tell you that she's not, but she is, not just to me, but to countless, countless others in our wellness business that we're going to talk to you about tonight. And it's honestly kind of what I'm going to ask her to share is why this business and why now. Um, it's such a powerful time to be a part of it. You'll hear how products create results and how those products are the foundation for building freedom and impact through this business. So let's jump right in. Welcome to my friend Haley. Haley
Thank you.
Lee is originally from Mississippi and now lives outside of Nashville. I'm gonna, well, what do y'all try to highlight? Y'all know I can't do more than one thing at a time. Um,
What do I need to do?
but Haley, I'm super excited you're here. So we'll just jump right in and get started. So tell us first a little bit about yourself, just kind of your background prior to this business.
So, prior to this business, first of all, thank you for having me. I'm super excited to be here and share for a few minutes with y'all tonight. My corporate background is human resource management. So, I worked at the largest level 1 trauma center in the state of Mississippi for a number of years. Um, and I found direct sales in 2012. It was actually at the urging of my mom to go and find out more information about a previous company that I was with. And it's something that I didn't grow up in sales. That's not really my background. But what I saw was an opportunity to create my husband a savings fund. And very quickly, my life was kind of turned upside down when my dad was diagnosed with liver cancer. And suddenly, the corporate ladder was not as attractive as it once was. And so I really wanted to take control and to give myself options that I didn't have at that point in my life. And so I've been full time in direct sales since February of 2015. So, 10 years officially now that I've been in this industry and with Partner Co. Since January of last year. So,
So, what first drew you with a human resource background? What actually first drew you into the partner co-business opportunity specifically, and what has kept you building since January of last year?
well, people are my passion, honestly. I love serving people in some way, whether that is helping them with their health goals or whether that is helping them build a business and create options for themselves. And so my partner code journey started because I saw a post on social media and the post piqued my interest. It literally said shots or drops, which would you prefer to lose weight? I did the shots for about a month in the summer of 2023. At the time, I was working with a nurse practitioner. I was on several medications to balance hormones. And so when I saw that post, I was curious, but to be honest, pretty skeptical. And so I screenshot it and sent it to a friend of mine who's a nurse, and she's better friends with the lady that posted it. And I said, I want you to call Michelle and find out about this product. I'm curious. I knew in the back of my mind I didn't want to be on prescriptions for the rest of my life. And so I wanted more information. The business side of Partner Co was nowhere on my radar. And when I was introduced to it, my first response was absolutely not. I just I didn't want to believe that um, it was as good as it actually is, honestly. But at the same time, I knew that if the product worked for me, that it would sell like crazy because every person that I know is either interested in hormone balance or weight loss or both. And so that's really then my wheels started turning in terms of income and what that could look like. And so that's really what drew me initially to the product and the business.
Um, I get that because you hear so much talk now um, about hormones, and it's a vague term that people often misunderstand.
Yeah.
And cortisol balancing is all the rage because we finally awoken to the fact um, that those hormones of metabolism really balance so much in the body. So, for someone brand new, how would you kind of explain the partner code business model in simple terms for someone maybe who has not been exposed to this industry before?
So there's several points that I try to make with people, whether they have experience in the direct sales industry or not, because I feel like those are very important to share and for people to know as they're making their decision. One of them is that the company is debt free. I think that that's a huge bonus that we have here. The other piece to piggyback right off of that is that there's also no third party investor. Um, when a third party investor gets their hands on your profit, they want more and more and more, which then allows for the company to start making decisions and making changes as it relates to your comp plan. And that's where companies can sometimes get in trouble. So we don't have any debt. And the reason that we don't have any debt is I just explained that Partner Co. is 2 years old. It was formed in February of 2023, and it formed as a result of 14 different companies that all carried all natural homeopathic products. But independently of one another, those companies were failing financially. And so as a result of, COVID and different things that caused impact on manufacturing and shipping, the companies were deteriorating and they were looking at closing their doors. And so essentially Partner Co came in and paid $56 million dollars for all 14 companies. They merged those companies together, and that means they merged their products, they merged their customer base, they merged their distributor base, as well as the countries where those companies had already established a presence. And so with Partner Co., and we're very big on partnership because you've got those 14 different companies that merge together. Our logo even looks like hands kind of holding like this. You know, we're huge on partnership, but the bigger piece from a global perspective is that our company stretches, our global footprint is more than 50 countries for a 2 year old company, which is unheard of. It costs tens of millions of dollars to launch into new countries when you think about having all of the ingredients approved by the government and the regulations that go along with that. From a standpoint of marketing and manufacturing and shipping, like a lot of times the containers even have to look differently than they do in the US, or maybe they're even under a different name. And so there's just millions of dollars that goes into launching a new country, and we just don't have that here. And so I think those would be kind of the key points. I would also add that at our ownership, we have two gentlemen, one of which has more than 25 years experience in this industry in the field, like those of us that are brand partners. He primarily built his business in Japan, so he's fluent in Japanese. And the other one is a business guy who has been the CEO and owned several companies before. And so he already understands leaving an impact and creating a legacy for people. And that's truly what we have here at Partner Co. So that's kind of the history of how it came to be. When I started looking at it, a couple of things that were really also important to me was that there was a system of growth, which we have here. And that may not sound like anything important, but when you can take someone, regardless of their background and their experience, and put them into a system and tell them exactly what to do, give them the resources that they need, everything from social media posts to text scripts of what to say when people start asking you questions about the product.
Mhm.
You can guide them through the process to get them to a status that we call ultimate and gold, which locks in their max commission for life. And so we do that over and over and over again with everybody that we bring in. And that has created massive duplication because when you make someone feel comfortable that they can lead others, then that's where they feel confident to do so.
Mhm.
And so the system of growth, our compensation plan was voted number 1 out of 7,000 companies. And we've put that comp plan to the test over the last 18 months, and it is extremely lucrative, which I believe it all goes back to the company being debt free. So those are probably my favorite points to make whenever I'm
And
talking
those
to
are all
people
big
about,
ones. We could spend, an hour here talking about each one of those
yeah.
points. Those are monumental. I couldn't agree more. The founders and owners are I always say they're just good people. Um,
Hmm.
that not to mention their experience. I mean, their
Yeah.
experience in the industry and in business, I don't think can be matched in the industry. The two of them
No.
together. And that system of growth you're talking about, when it is simple and duplicable, people come here with no experience in the industry and can get a quick return on investment and quick profits, and then learn how to really build a recurring income.
Hmm.
That's a game changer when it's simple and duplicable, and that's what we've got. So, what would you say have been your biggest mindset shifts in your belief, really, that are necessary for anybody, not just you, but for anybody to come in and really succeed? What would you advise people when they come in, kind of as a to be aware of their mindset shift that has to happen for success?
Well, I think for one, people have to be coachable if they want to create success here. You know, I'm not always coachable. Like I like to tell other people what to do. I know that that may surprise several of you, but I don't
That
necessarily
HR
love
coming
being
out.
told. Yes. I'll write you a policy, but I don't want to be told what to do. So it is a little bit of, all right, I've got to swallow my pride and just do what they tell me to do. But if you will do that, and if you'll take the product consistently, you will see results. And once you start getting personal results from the product, so our gateway product, if you're not familiar with that, is a product called Slenderize. I actually have them right here. I didn't plan that, but I do.
I do
Um,
too.
Yep. So these two little bottles right here, we refer to them as body balancing drops or hormone balancing drops. But essentially, we use this one product. We focus on this one product to bring people in and to initially get them kicked off. And I think that being coachable to take the resources that I mentioned in that system of growth and applying them and putting in action very quickly or moving into action very quickly allows for people to build their belief because I tell people all the time your Venmo or your PayPal, once you start posting on social media, is going to sound like a slot machine. And people are going to be sending you money. And it's just crazy how fast it goes, right? And so when you can give people those quick wins, it builds their confidence. And they're going to be apt to continue to take the product, right? They're going to be apt to continue to post about it and continue to be coachable. And I think, building a business is just like anything else in life. There's going to be down days or there's going to be down weeks or months. But at the end of the day, the community, and as one of our leaders and friends, Brent Palmer says, you've got to keep people close to the fire. And if they'll stay close to the fire, if they'll plug in, there's only so much you can do, right? They've got to want it for themselves. And I think that that really is all built around your why for being here. And that's different to every single person because we all have a different story. But creating those quick wins builds confidence. And at the end of the day, that is what's going to keep their mindset in the right place for the long term.
I could not agree more. And so much of that still goes back to that system of growth. So can you share a personal story where this business gave you maybe outside of income, um, something as far as changing your perspective of freedom or impact?
Yeah, there's several different examples that I can think of, but as I shared, I've been in this industry full time now for the last 10 years. But there was a time towards the end of 2023 that I was looking at going back to work. And I had gotten really spoiled to my flexibility and my freedom, if you will. But flexibility and control, for lack of a better word, now that I've ratted myself out about being a control freak, to be able to be accessible for my kids. I have a daughter that's 12, a son that's 8. Neither of them remember me working in corporate. And so what the lifestyle change, I guess, that this business has given me is that it continues to allow me to be present.
Mhm.
I shared right before we started the recording, I just came in from 2 soccer games. We hadn't even been home from school yet. These are the days, right? Like it's busy and it's crazy, but I love that I can work around my family, and that truly is a gift to me. And it has created and can will continue to create a lifestyle that fits my family's need in this season. um Financially, it has made a tremendous impact for us. We were at a place when I joined Partner Co that we were getting by, but we were not getting ahead. And we're getting ahead now thanks to this business and this company and our team, because more and more people want those things too. They want options. I talk to people every day and they want options. They may choose not to leave their full-time career, but they would like to have the option to walk away if they want to, right? And so I think that continuing to pour into other people to show them what's available to them and what is possible, is what really drives me, because I love to see people winning here, um, especially if they've never been able to win with a previous company, or if maybe they don't get a lot of support from home. We have a lot of people like that. This is their community. This is where they come to feel a part of something greater than themselves, and they certainly can get that with Partner Co. The travel option is also a really great thing from a lifestyle perspective. I've been on 3 trips so far with Partner Co. One to the Bahamas, one to Punta Cana, and then most recently this summer to Bali. And all of those were all expense paid trips. They roll out the red carpet for you, and it just, it's an incredible incentive for those that like to travel and like to visit new places.
And speaking of that, we're about to go to our biggest event of the year, where they're going to tell us where the trips are for the upcoming year. So I'm pretty
That's
excited
right.
about that.
Yeah.
Um, so where would you say Partner Co is today in terms of growth and expansion, and um, how does that create opportunity for new people just coming to to the company?
So I shared earlier that Partner Co is only 2 years old, but in the grand scheme of things, we are not yet a household name. And when you think about a random Tuesday night in your particular state, there are probably very few, if any, in-home events or events happening at restaurants.
Mhm.
And one day it will be the case that there are tens, hundreds of meetings or events happening within each and every state, um, and within multiple countries, because like I shared before, we're in more than 50. And so we're in this peak window of opportunity where you can get your seat at the table, if you will, for $30, no less, and run with this thing to whatever level you want. And so we have people that just want an extra $500 a month. And that makes a tremendous impact on their family budget. We have some that are wanting 500 a week,
Mm.
or 5,000 a week. And so any and all of that and more is possible because you're in this really sweet period of time where if you were to walk through the aisles of the grocery store and take a survey asking people, have you ever heard of a company called Partner Co? They would probably look at you like you have three heads and tell you no. And so we are so early on here that that is where tremendous income potential is created for those that want it. It's not for everybody, and that's totally fine, but it can make a significant impact to your family's bottom line in very part-time hours. So, like you said, we're headed to Dallas, Texas tomorrow. Our biggest event of the year starts on Thursday, and we will release two brand new products on Friday. I've been here 18 months. We've never released two products at one time. So what I foresee happening is we closed 2024 at almost 400 million in sales. And I believe over the next 3 to 5 years, we will easily knock a billion out of the park. So you've got all of the systems in place, all of the, dots are connected, if you will, to create this beautiful story of what's getting ready to happen. And, it's the perfect time to be a part of it.
Well, I think you may actually have already answered this, but my next question really was that why do you believe now is the ideal time? And so I think we covered that. There's just such a huge runway here for the business. We haven't left the ground yet, and I do believe that because we're so small, that's a moment in time, especially to
Yeah.
be part of one of a company, like you said, that has a global footprint and is debt free. That's just unheard of, to be this early on and in such a pretty position. So how
Well, and you have products that, sorry, I don't mean to cut
that's
you off,
okay.
but I
No,
just want
no.
to say this. You have products that are not on trial. For one, the drops that I showed you a second ago have been around for more than 12 years. We have clinical trials to back them up. We have annual quality tests. Um, Four of our products are listed in the physician's desk reference, which to people who are non-clinical doesn't mean as much as it does to those who are. But at the same time, you can feel very comfortable and confident about offering these products because they're safe for little people as well as parents and grandparents. But we also have the innovation factor where we will be coming out with new products. And so it's not just the products that are in the portfolio, and that's what we'll always have. We're on the cutting edge of new and advanced technology and product that's coming to market. So
I,
really the best of both worlds.
it really is. I believe that is why this is the ideal time to get involved. Um, And speaking of innovation, our new Chief Science Officer, Dr. Joshua Plant, um, he is going to lead the way in innovation in our products that are derived really from the best of that nature has to offer, and
Yeah,
always backed by science with our research whole department. But our lead scientists and research are I'm fascinated by. I totally fangirl when I see one of those guys.
absolutely. Yeah, I do too. I'm just not always smart enough to understand everything that y'all are talking about.
Um, so what would you say? I know we've covered some of this already, but how does Partner Co's recent momentum, that global expansion, the product innovation and the recognition make this a moment different as compared to other companies or industries right now?
Well, I think, with some companies that are new, there's always going to be a new company, a new opportunity popping up, right? But a lot of times those come with new products and you don't know the long-term effect of those products.
Hmm.
And so again, it goes back to our products not being on trial for one, and knowing that they go through all of the clinical trials and quality testing and that kind of thing. So that definitely is one thing for me. I need to feel safe about what I'm putting in, my body, but I'm also wanting, I want to make sure that everybody else feels safe about what they're putting in theirs. And so I think that that's important. I think that, the fact that we're only 2 years old is incredible to be a part of as well. And this convention that we're going into, there's expected to be 2 to 3 thousand people in the room. And one day, I believe that there will be more than 10,000 or more than 20,000. We already are having to have four different conventions around the world. This is the only one in the US at this point, but then there will be one in Asia, one in Europe, and it just continues to grow as we continue to build this thing out. Um, I think that more and more people are becoming aware of what they're putting in their product, or I don't want to use the term concerned, but they're interested, right?
Hmm.
And it's taking everything back to that cellular level and really making an impact in their quality of life. And so with the drops, if you've seen a post about them on social media, likely the before and after has to do with weight loss, which can be a side effect of hormone balance. But if you were to ask the average person who's been on the drops for more than 90 days, they likely would also tell you that they're sleeping better, that their joints don't hurt, that they have more energy, that they're in a better mood, that they don't feel as stressed or they're not carrying as much anxiety because that cortisol is coming down. And when you can give somebody their quality of life back, which certainly can be impacted by weight too. But I think that the non-scale victories a lot of times outweigh, no pun intended, the weight loss because you're truly giving them their life and their health back. And that's what's so fun about this for me is, at first when I got here, all of the before and after pictures were people that I didn't really know personally. And now we have our own testimonies of people who truly have experienced life change. And I think it's important too that you figure out and you have conversations with your customers and your brand partners to figure out what are you still struggling with or what are your health goals long term,
Hmm.
because we do have over 100 products in the portfolio. And the long term goal here is to give people the option to purchase at wholesale, right? For themselves, for their families, to get that personal discount, but also to give them that quality of life back so that if they choose to go share the products with other people, then they feel equipped to help those people get their best health as well.
For sure. And I mean, I can't think of a better impact. I mean, next to salvation,
Yeah.
give somebody the opportunity for health and wealth.
Yeah.
There's just not anything more impactful than that, I don't believe, because it does impact the entire family. Um, I saw a quote today that said, you may have 99 problems until you're sick or you're unhealthy. If you have a health problem, then you have one problem because
Yeah.
everything else goes numb in the background and it all doesn't matter as much. Um, so we do have to take care of our health. And I do believe there's almost like a great awakening going on right now where people are becoming so much more aware. Um, and are making different choices based on what what they're putting in their bodies and how it affects them. And our products, like you said, are so safe to recommend. So that's a lot, y'all. We said a lot in a small amount of time. I mean, that was a lot of big information shared there. You may want to go back to the recording and take another listen to that and really break it down. But I just want to thank you so much for coming and sharing with us tonight, Haley. I hope all of you caught the vision and the excitement about where Partner Co is right now and where we're headed. We are definitely in momentum, and the timing is everything. If you've been waiting for a sign, just this is it. I don't have anything else to say other than this is it. Don't miss your seat at this table. There's going to be an opportunity here for many years, but it will never be as big as it is now. So start with the products, experience the difference for yourself. And from there, you'll see how easy it is really to share your own results, share and with your friends and family how to build an income as well. if that's your goal. The question is not, is this real? I mean, you just heard the proof, right? The question isn't if Partner Co works, because it does. We have so many testimonies about that. And like she said, our products are not on trial, nor is this company. We have all the data that's there to share with you if you're interested in that as well. Um, the real question is, do you want to be a part of it? Will you let it work for you? So get back with the person who invited you to this, whether you're watching live or watching a replay, and let's all kind of lock arms and get you started. If you're ready to learn more, the next step is simply to get on the phone with them. They'll get your questions answered, and we'll get you plugged into this simple system we referred to. And we would love to have you join our community. It's a great place to be. And I can't wait for you to see how great it is, because it is something that, people don't get this kind of community in everyday life, and certainly not with the traditional corporate employment. So there's just nothing that compares to it. The timing's right, the products are unmatched, and the opportunity is here for you. So thank you for joining us tonight, and let's do this together. Good night,
Absolutely.
everybody.
Thank you. Good night.
Thanks, Haley.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.